we have done the direct action on the container, that is exec, and then now we will do housekeeping or housekeeping using kill command as well as stop command, and we'll see the distinction between each other. So if the state of a container is important to you, when it terminates, you may want to understand the distinction between docker kill and docker stop. So this distinction can also be important if you need your application to close gracefully in order to save data. So let's look into the docker kill use case first, then we will go for the stop. So docker kill, the problem statement here is you want to cleanly terminate a container, cleanly, completely remove all the respective data. So solution for that is docker kill, obviously the command that is docker kill. So the crucial point of docker kill is, so the crucial point to understand is that docker kill does not behave the same way as the standard command line kill program. So the program kill works by sending a term also known as a signal value 15 signal to the process specified unless directed otherwise. So this signal indicates to the program that it should terminate, but does not force the program. So most programs will perform some kind of cleanup when this signal is handled, but the program can do what it likes, including ignoring the signal. So a kill KILL signal, echo signal value 9, by contrast, forces the specified program to terminate it. So confusingly, Docker kill uses a kill signal on the running process, giving the processes within no chance to handle termination. So this means that the stray files, such as files containing running process IDs, may be left in the file system depending on the application's ability to manage state. This may or may not cause the problems for you if you start up the container again. So even more confusingly, the docker stop command, one more command, the docker stop command acts like the kill command, sending a term signal capital T, capital E, capital RM. So the commands normally we use, and the default signal that it sends is, if you use kill, it's term signal. That's the normal kill. That is, we use it in command line interface, the CLI, that is kill, command line utility kill, that uses default signal 15, whereas the docker kill, that uses default signal kill and then value 9, whereas docker stop, it uses default signal term, whereas the signal value is 15. So docker stop is equivalent to kill, whereas docker kill is slightly different. The difference is it forces the specified program to terminate a kill, whereas docker stop, it will not force it to terminate completely. So you can restart it. That's what we are going to show. So in summary, don't use docker kill, and you would use kill, and you're probably best of getting into the habit of using docker stop. Obviously, so far we have been using docker stop, not even a single time we have used docker kill, if you are following my video. Okay, so we're gonna use docker stop, not docker kill, but we would like to know what it is. So list of docker machine commands, we know: create, ls, stop, start, restart, rm, kill, inspect, config, ip, url, upgrade. So inspect we have used, kill we haven't used, it kills a machine off. rm we have used, it destroys a machine. Restart, to stop and starts a machine. And if you use a stop, just stops the machine. We have used docker stop, we use docker start, we use docker restart, we have used docker rm. Docker kill not it used. Inspect we have used. Config, ip, url, upgrade, that we're going to use. Okay, and create. So now let's get into the action. So here is my clear sudo I clear the screen and docker ps. Three containers are running. Okay, three containers. So now let's demonstrate. So, docker create is to create a new machine. So we are not worried about that. If we do docker ls, so docker ls is not a docker command. So then we have docker stop to stop it, and docker start to start, and docker restart we have to mention docker restart to restart the container, and docker rm to remove the container, and docker kill to kill the container. Okay, and docker inspect we have used. So let's see docker config and db. You see that here. So docker config command and manage docker configs. You create a config from a file, or inspect display detailed information on one or more configs, or ls list configs, or rm remove or more configs. This is how you can use a docker config command. And or else you can use docker ip. So docker ip returns the ip address of the machine. So docker ip, and it's db. And similarly you can have docker url and docker upgrade. So but now here we are going to see docker kill. Okay, but before that let me check docker ps, docker kill, and it's db1. So db1 has been killed. So let me check docker ps. So only two containers are running, up and running. That is Wipro app load balancer. Now let me do docker psa and cross check. Here also node. You see that it's kubecheren db1 and db. Okay, it's been killed. It's been killed. So docker start and db and docker ps. Here it is. Okay, so that's how our kill works. So let's get into the work. Let's get into the docker stop now. So here it's finally we'll use docker stop as we have discussed. We will use docker stop to do the housekeeping. So a frequent grip of new docker users is that in a short space of time you can end up with many containers on your system in various states, and there are no standard tools for managing this on the command line. So for that we'll do process substitution in bash. If you have not seen it before, so you can do the process substitution. So if you want to prune the containers on your system, so set up aliases to run the commands that tidy up the whole container. That's what they call process substitution in bash. Okay, so the simplest approach here is to delete all containers. Obviously this is something of a nuclear option that should only be used if you are certain it's what you want. So let's look into that command. If you do that, docker ps option A, option Q, docker ps option U, it will throw you all the containers to you, and Q, so get a list of all container IDs both running and stopped and pass them. Let's do that. Okay, for that let me make this. I think this is enough. Or docker ps option A, option Q. You see that? You see that? All the container IDs. All the container IDs have been got it. So now when you say xarg no run if empty docker rm f, the docker rm and option f command which will remove any containers passed even if they are running. That's the issue. Okay, so we don't want that. We don't want that. If you want it to be done as a step process, so to briefly explain xargs, it takes each line of the input and passes them all as arguments to the subsequent command. We have passed an additional argument, that is option no run if empty, which avoids running the command at all if there is no output from the previous command in order to avoid the error. This is how you can keep your house clean automatically. So if you have containers running that you may want to keep, but you want to remove all those that have exited, you can filter the items written by docker ps command. That we are going to do now. So let me bring it here. So here, if you look into this example, so you see the filter option. The filter flag tells the docker ps command which containers you want returned. In this case, you are restricting it to containers that have exited, only exited state. You can see that filter and status is equals to exited. Other options are running and restarting. You can put either status is equals to running or restarting, and you can specifically remove. You see that rm here. You can specifically do the docker rm to the either running or restarting, whatever you want, but you can remove it with one command. So this time you don't force the removal of containers because they should not be running based on the filter you have given. So let's get into the action again one more time. So this time we'll say again docker ps a option q, and now I want to filter it. Filter, and the status is exited, and make a pipeline and then enter into the new line or keep it the same line. So x args and option again no run if empty, do docker rm, do docker rm. Error response from daemon invalid filter. Okay, that's fine. So I got it. Sometimes it happens when you're typing the code. So it's done. It's been removed. So let's cross check docker ps option a. So now there is no container which is stopped. All are running container. So what I'm going to do is now, so we will build a container. We will run a container and we'll stop that container. Of course, let's check db1 is running at this moment. We'll stop this container and we will see whether this is working or not. Docker, wait, docker stop, and or else we can kill it also, not an issue, but we'll stop it. db1. So now let's do docker ps. So only two containers are spinning at this moment. So let me check docker ps option a. Okay, pd, not pd, it's ps. Docker ps option a. So now we have three containers. One is in exited status. You see that status is exited. Other two are running. So now we have to remove this one only. I want running containers to be stay same. So let me do that. Let me do docker ps again. And here it is gone. The exited container is gone. This is how that command is useful to delete, to keep your house clean. So you may need this if you have many containers on your system and want to automate the examination and removal of any containers that exited unexpectedly. So this is So if you take com option 3 runs the com command. This is COMM command to compare the contents of two files. The option 3 argument suppresses lines that appear in both files, those with a 0 exit code, and outputs any others. Okay, it's for comparison, com comparison. Then finds exited container IDs, sorts them and passes them as a file to com. Then finally xorgs again comes into the picture, runs docker inspect again against containers with a non-zero exit code, and saves the output to the error containers file. And it finds the container with an exit code of 0, sorts them and passes them as a file to com. Okay, so this is a bit advanced that we are not going to do. If you want to go like if you have huge amount of containers and you want to completely automate the process, and this is how you can use it. If you would like to explore more, I would always encourage you to explore more. But by the time, what I will do is I will get into our server and I will clean up the server. I'll do the housekeeping and then we will wrap up this. Okay, so docker ps, two containers are running. Docker images, three images are there. So let us stop the container first. Only stop, no kill, no killing, no violence, only peace, 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 shanti. So docker stop, and what we have is mm, we'll start with what's the name, Wipro. Yep, Wipro app. And other one is load balancer. Yes, so done, both were stopped. Now let's check the status. Docker ps all gone. Let us get into the docker ps option. Here is gone, they are gone. And let's remove this. For that we'll use the same command again. See, I don't like to use this command, so that's the reason I did not use it. Which one? To remove all the containers which are running. I just want to show you that, that's it. I don't like to use it and I won't use it. I delete only the stopped containers, so that's why I'm repeating the same command. So done, these two containers were also removed. Now let's check. We should not have any container. Done and dusted, it's gone. Okay, so now let's cross check docker images. Three images we have. Let's remove all of them. Cube, MySQL version. Okay, Docker RMI, MySQL, and it's Nginx, and Cube. What is that? It's multi. Yeah, it's done. All has been deleted. Even each and every image or layers has been deleted. Let's cross check docker docker images. Here it is. The house has been cleaned. The house has been kept clean. It's neat and tidy. So now it's time to click get out of that server and get into our slide. So with this, we have seen in this session, we have seen housekeeping, we have seen kill, we have seen stop, we have got to know how to automate the process of removing the containers, and also we have seen inspect and other commands. This is what an exercise that we have done in this session, that is housekeeping, kill versus stop. But we have done more than that.